Brad, welcome to the program. We've been hearing all these anecdotal evidence of home invasions. Just recently, the Commissioner was on radio in Melbourne, the Police Commissioner, and he said there was 9 in the past 24 hours. When the Premier's pushed about this, he says, oh, look, it's just, Beckjard and anecdotal influencers putting this out there. But the stats today, well, they don't lie, do they?
The stats are very real, Peter, and every one of those stats, I keep saying, they're actually a person. So I've been out and visited the victims, and I know James Newbury in Brighton and many of my colleagues across Victoria. These are victims who were at home. Someone has come into their house with machetes, knives, possibly guns, and they will never, ever be able to live in their home again without fear. I don't understand how Daniel Andrews can say he didn't see it coming, because everybody saw this coming. We know there's a lack of police resources. We know there's now the government in the budget are removing funding from crime prevention models for these young people to give them the opportunities and the support to keep them out of the criminal justice system, and therefore the images we're seeing now won't be seen in your home. But it's genuinely a huge concern, and it's no longer just a made-up number or figure. These are real numbers and real people out in areas that I know I represent in Berwick, and I've met some of those families.
Well, 2 things from me. 10 to 14-year-olds in these statistics are the second most common offenders for aggravated burglaries. So it's kids breaking into homes. And also this story today that police stations are closing at night because they don't have enough resources.
Yeah, the 2 things on that. When we're talking about young people, 10 to 14, and the highest number is that 13 and 14-year-old age group in that area for the amount of that are committing the crimes, particularly violent crimes, we need to actually step back, and I should say but the government should step back and go, what is going wrong? Why aren't we investing in these young people to keep them out of the justice system, to give them the opportunities? And we all get scared, and I've said this before quite publicly, we get scared to talk about First Nations or Africans or people from islander backgrounds. We all get worried that if we mention it, we're going to be classed as racist because we're saying they're involved in crime. But the statistics are very real that they're overrepresented. So rather than saying the negative side of that, what can we do to prevent them committing crime, to ensure we get the support for them, whether it's with their family or with them directly? Because at the end of the day, we don't want the crimes to be committed. We need to make sure that we can work with these young people, ensure they don't get in the system, and that'll be the best investment we can make in the state. And I think it has to be in the conversation right now as the government wants to talk about raising the age.
And just quickly on the police stations.
Sorry about that, Peter. The police stations in Victoria, this is not new. We've had films and footage of police stations shut across Victoria at different times. And I've been speaking to police who have been put on recall to come in and cover shifts. We've got 800 vacancies. So there's 800 short in the police numbers. And at the same time, the police minister's out there trying to lie to the community and say they're increasing numbers by 502. That's not true. They're only bringing in 502, but the amount of police that are leaving is the reason police stations are closing.